If you think gay is a choice, you must think it's a choice for you, which means you're probably gay and just don't realize it. So, I talk pretty often about how the right likes to project a lot of beliefs, behaviors, systems, ideas, etc. onto the left when it's truly what they believe. And the things that the right most virulently accuses the left of with no evidence or prompting whatsoever tend to just be projection. This has happened a lot when it comes to like the right accusing the left of being like in favor of grooming kids and pedophilia, when it turns out the right are the ones that have fought tooth and nail to preserve child marriage in this country. And you constantly hear stories about how anti-LGBT school PTA dad who railed against LGBT books grooming their children, turns out he raped 4 little girls. Like, that was a story we covered recently. Stuff like that happens very often. One of the most common right-wing talking points is that the left is trying to radicalize the children into Antifa or whatever. Oh, hey, Chris Reagan, thank you for the raid. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, everybody over in Twitch chat, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy your stay here. I see all of the Tom Sweeney emotes. I like them. Anyway, the very common right-wing talking point is that the left wants to indoctrinate children into the Homo Globo agenda, whatever it is. Homo Globo? Did I say it right? Globalists, lizard men, whatever the crazy ideas they have are, you guys know the ones. Crazy conspiracies about how the left wants to indoctrinate children. Now, I won't lie. The left does advocate for certain ideas the right calls indoctrination to be taught in schools. For example, I and many other people on the left do actively call for things like sexuality to be a basic idea that's taught at some level of schooling, right? Like, if you're old enough to start having crushes, you should probably know what sexuality is to a degree. Like if you're old enough to have a crush on Sally in the desk next to you, and Timmy is old enough to have a crush on Billy on the desk next to him, I feel like at that point, knowing that some boys like boys, some girls like girls is probably okay. Stuff like that. Now, of course, the right is very against that and believes that teaching kids about this or even entertaining the idea that LGBT people exist in classrooms is propaganda. And that's very ironic and very funny, considering the right have been pushing propaganda on young people for a very, very long time. From trying to push the idea that video games cause violence and trying to ban them, to trying to ban the teaching of evolution in schools. Just crazy shit. Over long, long periods of time, this is nothing new. Now, the reason why we're here today is because the Daily Wire just announced a couple days ago a brand new program they're opening on their channel. The Daily Wire announced DW Kids. Here's why. Daily Wire Kids. Oh boy. If you guys didn't think that PragerU and their kids show that they made for propagandizing right-wing opinions to kids wasn't enough, now we've got the Daily Wire doing it. Oh boy. Yeah. All right. There's not much I can say going into this. Let's just start it.
As we've been talking about, the employees at Disney are apparently ready to indoctrinate your kids in queer theory and wokeness and sexual indoctrination. This is what they are ready to do. I don't say this because I'm attributing motive to them. I say this because they said it.
I like how the argument is, oh yes, the left wants to teach that gay people exist in school, and they're wrong for that. So now we're going to make our own propaganda, and it's okay because the left did it first. By our crazy, deranged viewpoint. It is really funny, though. Their talking point is that the left is indoctrinating kids, and that is bad. So their response is, we are going to counter-indoctrinate kids. Because, of course, they're the correct ones.
There was an all-hands meeting over at Disney in which multiple employees talked about spooning a bunch of left-wing sexual values into children's programming. They said, in fact, that this was their goal. They talked about how when you go to Disneyland, from now on, we have to be very, very careful that you don't label little girls princesses because they might be insulted. They might, in fact, be princes. You can no longer say.
I don't know why is he melting? Why is he mad about this? What, like, I legitimately want to know if you are a Ben Shapiro fan and you're watching, and this is something that upsets you, the idea that like employees at Disneyland were instructed not to refer to little girls as princesses. Like for one, they shouldn't be doing that because it's creepy as fuck. And if I saw a grown man in a fucking goofy costume call my daughter a princess, let's just say I would be banned from Disney World for the rest of my life. Okay, so there's that. Let's just get that off the table for starters. Second, why is this something worth being upset about? Legitimately, why is this something to be upset about? I feel like Ben Shapiro should be more. Yeah, I feel like Ben Shapiro should be more upset about the internet memeing on his sister's boobs than this. You know, there's so many more pressing matters in the world to be concerned about, such as AOC feet pics, and I know that's what Ben's looking for. Ben Shapiro has two things in his mind: his sister's milkers and AOC's feet, and one little bit in the back for facts and logic.
Say things like ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Not only that, they say that they want to make this according to the corporate president of Disney, who has 2 queer children. She says 1 pansexual child.
How dare her? How dare her have gay kids?
Nobody knows what that means. And 1 trans child.
1 pansexual child, no one knows what that means. Pansexual means that you aren't attracted to any particular gender. You're attracted to anybody. That's what pansexual means. You're not attracted to any particular gender identity, or gender presentation. Simple as that. Very simple definition. I feel like I didn't even have to Google it. I just right off the top of my head, right off the tip of my tongue, 1 sentence definition. Very simple. You know, maybe if you're watching propaganda from a multi-million-dollar organization, actually, they said they were investing $100 million in this Daily Wire Kids thing, I think they said. So if they're investing $100 million into a children's program, a children's propaganda program, if that's really true, and this could be a multi-billion-dollar company, the Daily Wire, for all we know. The fact that such a well-funded, high-production value, claiming to be well-researched program can't even define a sexuality, which I feel like, listen, even if you don't believe pansexual is real, even if you're not on board with being like LGBT and stuff like that, I feel like I do put like a decent amount of effort into understanding right-wing arguments, right? I have to, because it's my job. Like, me talking about conservative, I could tell you what conservatives believe. Like, I can tell you what their ideas are. I can tell you their values. I can tell you different types of conservatives, different types of right-wingers. Like, I feel like I put a lot of work into understanding my opposition. Ben Shapiro is demonstrating here he doesn't even put in the bare minimum of work into understanding his opposition, and that he doesn't even put in the work of understanding the definition of the sexualities the left claim to exist that he doesn't think exists. Don't you think that to claim something doesn't exist, or to claim something is insane or ridiculous, you ought to know the definition of it at least? To have done enough research, at least, to know that it's bullshit. Don't you think you ought to know what it is? Ty Green, thank you for the $10 super chat, says, is anyone feeling like the attacks on LGBT have been a lot more vicious and relentless lately? Yes. I know the right doesn't like it, but it feels a lot more severe lately. Dude. It's 2022, but it feels like 1922. No, Ty Green, you're completely correct. The online right, at least, and overall, the whole of the right has been getting particularly more vicious against the LGBT community, because they recognize this as one of their last few chances to push some severely anti-LGBT legislation before society becomes too overwhelmingly pro, or at least accepting of LGBT people, for them to have that opportunity anymore. So obviously we've got the Don't Say Gay bill, we've got the constant bans on trans students participating in sports, we've got the documentary from Matt Walsh and his year of anti-transness, and then this whole thing, and then just the constant, right-wing torrent of anti-trans content online, the TERF stuff getting really prominent, with like even Dave Chappelle coming out and being like, I'm Team TERF, I'm pro J.K. Rowling. It really does feel like right now we're getting more anti-LGBT sentiment than ever, and I think it's completely in line with what I've been predicting for a while. I told you guys, we're heading back into another age of the right being culturally dominant. not only are they going to be culturally dominant, but they're going to be politically dominant. They're going to they're going to sweep the midterms. They're going to push a lot of very bad policy. They're going to have a lot of the prominence online in the foreseeable future. And it's going to be very similar to the era of 2014 to 2016 or 2017. I've been predicting this for a while. And yeah, I mean, this isn't of any surprise to me. This is not surprising to me. The winds have been blowing in this direction for over a year now. I've been saying it. I've been saying it. Xander Hall, culture war shit makes single issue voters. You can pass whatever you want as long as you're anti-gay. That's what I'm saying, All Might. I feel like a lot of people, especially in the online left, don't really realize how many people. Okay, there are a lot of Americans who vote that are not online. I'd say the percentage of Democratic voters. I'd say the vast majority of Democrat voters are not online. They just aren't. Because they're mostly older. They're mostly older, I think. Like the older, like boomer Democrats just aren't on the internet. They aren't out there putting out left-wing memes. Most left-wing memes are coming from like young Zoomer progressives, right? But like on the right, it feels like the boomers are way more online than the lefty boomers are, right? Right-wing boomers are super duper online. And I think that has a lot to do with the issue. I think that the fact there's so many right-wing boomers on the internet means that they can come out and create things like the Daily Wire, but there is no left-wing. There's no left-wing the Daily Wire. The closest thing to the left-wing Daily Wire you can get is John Oliver, and he's a syndicated mainstream broadcast station network show that just uploads clips to YouTube. There's no left-wing Daily Wire. Maybe TYT, I guess, but like this video alone has 136K views. TYT and Sam Cedar get like 2 or 3K views per video and have consistently like for over a decade. The right has always had more of a dominant position online, or at least it definitely does at the moment.
Which seems to be kind of a coincidence. I mean, it's amazing, all of the genetic variation in one family there. But this Disney corporate president said that she wants 50% of.
Yeah, he would say really interesting, like genetic variation there. Dude, I love when conservatives they'll like hint, nudge at something, but they're too much of a pussy to outright say it. What Ben Shapiro was pointing at there is the fact that it seemingly would be statistically unlikely to have a child who is trans and a child who is pansexual, two queer children, if like the parent wasn't pushing it onto them, which is what Ben Shapiro is like wink, wink, nudge, nudge saying here. But if Ben Shapiro outright says that, he's basically accusing like a large public figure of child abuse, and he can be sued for that. So he's not saying it because people like Ben Shapiro are cowards, and all they care about is making money. They don't care about actually saying what they believe.
Of all characters at Disney to be LGBTQIA plus minus divided by sign, fractional sign.
Just check, TYT is getting around 20K to 170K views per vid. Okay, TYT seems to do pretty well, but I know Sam Cedar, like what's Sam Cedar's show? The Majority Report? I know the Majority Report does not do as well as I thought it did. Like, I remember clicking on Majority Report a couple days ago and being like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5K views, like not much over 10K views unless it was something big. And I mean, they upload like 10 times a day, so it doesn't matter, but like, yeah. TYT gets ratioed regularly. Yeah. A lot of most of TYT's viewers, I would guess, are like a fairly substantial amount of TYT's viewers are hate watchers. Like, I've never seen a TYT video with a positive ratio. I've never watched a TYT video with a positive ratio. Every high view TYT video has a more dislikes than likes.
Percentage sign. She wants half of the characters to be that or people of color. Half. Okay, because the idea is that your child must learn their values. Must learn their values. And this sheds a new light on the opposition that we have seen from the left.
So, the way that the left talks about this and the way the right talks about this is so demonstrably different, and I think it points out the dissimilarity between the right and the left. When the left advocates for certain things to be taught in school, it's because it's backed up by science and data, and that we don't think that political positions or political ideas or political arguments should get in the way of the truth being taught. And unfortunately, the reality of the truth and the data does all point to the left having, the right position on the vast majority of issues, especially when it comes to LGBT stuff. The right does not have that privilege. The right does not have the privilege of being correct on this issue. They have to lie and, spread propaganda and burn books and destroy research and ban certain stories and ban information, ban speech. They have to ban things and censor people to make sure that their ideas continue to stay popular among the children. Because the children are the only way that they can keep their ideas around. Naturally, they have to propagandize to them. We simply want to make the data and the research available to them. There's nothing about being taught something in schools that forces a child to believe something. They are simply being taught what the research and the data says. If they want to say, oh, that's all bullshit, and throw it all away when they go home, or talk to their parents and their parents tell them something different and that's what they believe, that's a whole other thing. However, what Ben Shapiro advocates for is for things like this to be taught by their parents. Why does it that Ben Shapiro wants parents, and particularly right-wing parents, to be teaching their children the topic of sexuality? What is the difference between when a parent teaches you something or a value and a school teaches you something or teaches you a value? What is the biggest difference between a school and a parent and something that they teach you? I'm going to answer it for you guys because you're not going to figure it out. It's the ability for it to be enforced. If a parent enforces or teaches a value or an idea under their roof or their household, you have to follow those rules or follow those values, or you get kicked out. You could be kicked out, disciplined. You have to do what your parents tell you. They have control over you. The right is very big on control. They believe in hierarchy very strongly. So parenting, and there being a child and a parent, a lesser human and a higher human, is something that conservatives are very much in favor of. They love that dynamic. They love that idea. So the idea of parents being able to teach a kid a certain set of political ideas, and that kid never being allowed to say, I disagree, and being able to push against it, is what they love. That's why they want these right-wing parents to be teaching these kids these ideas and banning schools from being able to teach what they think. Because a school can't make you be pro-LGBT. They can make it so you're not allowed to call the gay kid in your class the F slur, but they can't make you believe LGBT people are okay, right? But if you're gay and you've got homophobic right-wing parents, they can make you be not gay. They can kick you out if they find out that you kissed another boy or kissed another girl. They can punish you. They can beat you. They can hit you. And frankly, due to the way that our laws exist currently, many of these abuses that a parent can do upon their kid can be totally gotten away with, mostly because of conservative politicians who are very pro-child abuse. Oh, you'll notice, by the way, I feel like I should throw this in as well, because it's a good thing to tack onto this argument. Notice how conservatives, the only type of abuse conservatives ever call out is grooming. Conservatives never use the term abuse. In fact, they belittle anyone who says they've been abused because they see that as weak. They belittle abuse. They don't see it as a real thing. They think that if you say you were abused as a joke, they don't care about abuse. The only kind of abuse they care about is grooming. And the reason why they only care about grooming is because it's by definition, the only type of abuse a parent can't do to their kid. Because by definition, grooming is when you trick a child into being reliant on you, both emotionally and tangibly. But children are already emotionally and tangibly reliant on their parents, so no grooming can take place. That's why the only type of abuse conservatives will acknowledge is grooming, because it can purely be used as an accusation for political clout, but they can never acknowledge abuse when it's happening to children, because they want parents to be able to abuse their children, because they view that level of hierarchy as one of the most pure representations of their political ideology.
To the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act. Now, Richard, I'll be honest.
I just realized This segment has been 20 minutes long already, and we're 1 minute into this video. We should speed this up a little bit, shouldn't we?
Originally, I thought that when the left saw the bill, the reason they freaked out is because they were misinterpreting the bill. They hadn't read it. They just listened to all the advocacy groups who said that the bill was called Don't Say Gay, and they literally thought, because some of them do, that the bill banned the word gay in the state of Florida, which clearly it does not, since I've now said the word.
Nope, it bans teaching about sexuality and sex under, I think it was like 4th grade, like 4th and under. Yeah, it's stupid. I know what this. I know what the Don't Say Gay bill actually bans, and I'm still against the Don't Say Gay bill, Ben.
Gay several times.
I do like how he says, at first I thought the left had just misread the bill, because of course he doesn't put the time into understanding his opposition's ideas, because he can just come on here, straw man his opposition all day, and his fan base will just seal clap. They'll just soy clap for him all fucking day. Soy, Ben! Facts and logic, Ben! Soy! And they'll keep giving him money.
In the course of this program, and I've said it many times over the course of the past couple of weeks, and not once, it's when broken down the door to haul me away. So obviously it was not a Don't Say Gay bill, nor does the bill say that if there's a kid who has 2 gay parents, that if this kid says, my dad's took me to Disneyland the other day, that the kid would be sued. What it did say is that teachers were not allowed to indoctrinate children on these issues without parental permission, K through 3.
Indoctrinate these children on these issues. Indoctrinate.
Or as age appropriate beyond that. That is what the actual bill says.
Do you guys remember? Can we please look? Can hold on. I feel like we need to take a step back in time here. Oh, here's an article. Here's an article from The Atlantic from just last year. Perfect. The conservative war on education that failed. A full century ago, the most effective school ban campaign in American history set the pattern. Noise, fury, rancor, and fear, but not much change in what schools really teach. In the recent governor's race in Virginia, Glenn Youngkin scored a huge upset win days after promising to ban critical race theory from Virginia schools. Youngkin is hardly the first Republican calling for school bans. Oh yeah, we forgot about critical race theory. School bans. In Texas, Representative Matt Krause sent a letter to school administrators about books in their district. Did they have Ta-Nehisi Coates in their shelves? Isabel Wilkerson's cast. How about LGBT Families by Leanne K. Curie McGee, or any of the 850 other books that might, in Krause's words, make students feel discomfort, guilt, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress because of their race or sex. Beyond Texas, beyond Virginia, the prospect of banning books and aside from public schools has GOP strategists smelling electoral blood. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy vowed to turn school bans into a winning issue for Republicans in 2022, sketching a parental bill of rights to protect kids from troubling ideas about race and sex. So yeah, this was basically like the source of why they're pushing so hard. It's this whole like parental bill of rights thing they're trying to push. This idea that like parents should have first and final say on what their kids are taught in school, which of course is insane. Like, obviously Ben would crumble if I asked, okay, what if the parents are flat earthers? Like Ben would crumble at this, but I mean, conservatives don't think through their ideas very well.
That's all the bill says. So originally I thought that it was just a misinterpretation. Maybe it was just that the left didn't understand the bill. Then you see the footage from the Disney employees who are saying overtly that they wish to convert your children to a particular way of thinking about sexual mores and about gender identity and about boys being girls and girls being boys. They wish to do this. And there's one employee who literally said, and I quote, that this person said that they are pushing a, quote, not so secret gay agenda. Or not at all secret gay agenda. This is what the person said. It's not my words. That's their word.
Yes, because we're correct and there's nothing to hide. It's not really like a secret evil agenda if it's just correct, right? Like if we're pushing the anti-mutilating yourself with rusty fish hooks campaign. I find that like if we're pushing that idea that it's probably bad to mutilate yourself with rusty fish hooks, is it really like an evil agenda worth keeping secret? Hello, chat. Just finished the new Knowing Better video. Has Zan gone over it yet? I have not.
It would be conspiracy theory if I said it. If they say it openly to each other on tape, that's no longer a conspiracy theory. It's just the thing that they are saying out loud. And so you have to...
Yes, because you're saying that there is a globo-homo agenda trying to groom our children into whatever the fuck. All we're saying is that children should be taught the reality of what the current data suggests sex and gender is, and how sex and sexuality works. Oh, and also, for the teaching of basic sex ed, which I think should be seen as a completely different issue from, like, the teaching of, like, sexuality and gender and whatnot. Like, it's a different issue. Sex ed should absolutely be taught, at least at some basic level, as early as humanly possible, because the data suggests that the earlier that children are taught sex ed, the much less likely they are to be sexually abused. And if they are sexually abused, the much more likely they are to immediately go find a trustworthy adult, such as a teacher or a trustworthy guardian, and inform them. Because if a child doesn't know what is being done to them is wrong and is sexual abuse, there's much less of a chance of them contacting an adult about it. Not to mention, if you don't teach children, hey, this is a thing that happens, it's sexual abuse. If it happens to you, you need to tell an adult. You're basically leaving up to any potential abuser to manipulate that child into believing whatever, right? Like, let's say some dude goes and diddles a kid and then says, what you did is very bad. If you tell your parents or any adults, you're going to be in very, very big trouble. That's very, very common. A lot of sexual abusers tell children they'll be in big trouble if they tell anyone about it. These kids need to be taught sex ed at a young age so that they know if something like that is done to them, it's bad and it is wrong, and they need to go find an adult. It helps children avoid actually being groomed. There's a reason why conservatives are so against sex ed and call it grooming. Because if sex ed is actually taught, it makes it harder for conservatives to actually groom children.
To wonder at this point, the reason that they're opposing the bill in Florida, is it because they misconstrue the bill or because they actually understand the bill? And they oppose the bill on its merits. They want small children indoctrinated with their values, which is, of course, why it is a priority to them to put in animated shows for small children, lesbian couples making out, and why it's important for there to be trans and non-binary and non-cis characters in children's cartoon programming. It is not.
Why is it important that there be straight ones, Ben? Literally almost every single bit of media, even children's media, features straight relationships, straight kisses, straight couples, straight marriages, etc., etc., etc. What is wrong with acknowledging that gay people exist? I know Ben Shapiro thinks it's a choice and a lifestyle, which no data. Ben Shapiro literally believes in the completely unfounded, unscientific idea that like sexuality, like gay people are like choosing to be gay, and it's like a lifestyle. He believes that. You guys know that, right? He outright said as much to Dave Rubin's face when he said he wouldn't go to Dave Rubin's wedding or like his anniversary party or whatever. He said as much. There is no data to support the idea that you are not born. I know enough gay people that clearly it's not that know like what's up, that clearly it's not a choice. I don't need the data to prove that, but the data shows it's not a choice. Like clearly it's not. Like there's no evidence, there's no gay gene, like we haven't seen a gay gene yet. We haven't seen like anything like that, but we haven't seen anything to suggest that like you can be taught to be gay, or that like being gay isn't something that you're born as, right? But Ben believes it is something that you choose to be. Which is really funny because that just kind of supposes that like that would just mean that Ben could just choose to be gay by his like thought process, which is, doesn't that make you think for a moment though, right? Like when homophobes say being gay is a choice, doesn't that make you think like, for you maybe, like as a straight guy, when I hear a homophobe say being gay is a choice, I think, not for me. Wait. Being gay is not a choice for me. I am straight, and I was born that way, and that is how I am. Gay is not an option for me to, like, check off. If you think gay is a choice, you must think it's a choice for you, which means you're probably gay, and just don't realize it. That's, like, always been my thought process when I hear that now.
Not for the good of your child. It is because they wish to hijack your child and to separate you from your child and to teach your child their values. You are the enemy as a parent. Well, we here at the Daily Wire, for months and months and months, we have been talking and putting into place a plan to do children's content. Because the simple fact is that we've known for a long time that the left has been skewing children's content. Well, we announced yesterday.
The left is doing it, and that's bad, so we're going to do it too, and now it's good.
That over the next 3 years, we would be investing $100 million here at the Daily Wire into making children's entertainment content. The reason being.
Can you imagine any left-wing, like, organization that does what this does, having $100 million to spend? Like, even Hassan doesn't have $100 million to spend. Hassan doesn't have $100 million to spend. Like, that should give you an idea of, like, the level of money the right has behind it. Like, when you see a creator like me, I want you guys to remember, I am making a barely livable wage. I am living paycheck to paycheck, and this is completely like independently funded grassroots by you guys, and then like whatever ad revenue I can eke off of YouTube and whatever platforms I host my stuff on. Okay, Ben Shapiro is funded by billionaire oil barons and demagogues and these like dark money groups. Okay, nor any other left wing talking figure online right now has this level of money or resources behind us. Jesus Christ. If you're ever looking at like who's on the right side of history, by the way, you should probably look at who has the least platform. Because the right has always had the most platform, the most money, and the most ability to push their ideas.
I'm a parent. I have 3 kids, 8, 5, 2. And it used to be that I could turn on Disney Plus and feel relatively safe that if my 5-year-old grabbed a hold of the remote and hit anything, that it would be okay. I no longer have that sort of faith. I didn't have that much faith before. I pre-screened virtually everything my kids saw. Now I have less than no faith. Now I have negative faith. And I think a lot of parents feel the same way. We feel slapped in the face. We feel that companies like Disney wish to hijack our children and use our own children against us and turn.
This almost comes off as parody. This almost comes off as parody. Can I just play this next few seconds here? I'm not going to say a word. What I want you to do right now is imagine this is somebody pretending to be Ben Shapiro doing a parody of Ben Shapiro, and tell me it doesn't look like a parody of Ben.
No faith. Now I have negative faith. And I think a lot of parents feel the same way. We feel slapped in the face. We feel that companies like Disney wish to hijack our children and use our own children against us and turn our children against us on behalf of their own values, because they want to create a utopia for the adults. That's what this is. It's a bunch of adults who wish the world to work in a certain way, and the only way for the world to work in that way is to indoctrinate your kids and my kids.
This comes off as a parody of an episode of Ben Shapiro's show. He's just, it's wild. He's cramming all the talking points, all the propaganda right into one little video.
And it's painful to me on a personal level. I'm a Disney lover. I love Disney.
Outright saying that gay people are the enemy? Yes. Conservatives outright view gay people as the enemy. Even if you are a gay conservative and you are on their side, Ben Shapiro said to Dave Rubin's face, I would not go to your wedding. I would not support your marriage. I see your marriage as sinful.
I grew up watching Disney movies. My sisters and I, we didn't grow up a particularly rich family. We grew up in a 2-bedroom home in Burbank, California. Until I was about 11 years old, I shared a bedroom with 3 of my siblings. And all 3 of my siblings and I, when it was time to go to bed at night, my dad would put on a tape of Beauty and the Beast, and we would listen to the score, and we'd go to sleep. So I grew up on Disney. I know Disney lyrics better than pretty much.
So you fell asleep to a story about literally a romance story about a straight couple. How would it have been wrong then if it was 2 men? If you just replaced Bella with a guy? If it was a prince? That Bella's the main character, Beauty and the Beast, right? I'm not fucking up here. I think I am. I think I'm getting it right. Yeah, Bella. Like, what if Bella was Billy? What if Bella was Billy? Okay. What if it was Billy and the Beast? What if it was Billy and the Beast? Belle? Oh, it was Belle, not Bella. Ah, Belle. Billy and the Beast. Okay. Bill and the Beast. What if it was Bill and the Beast? What would be wrong with that? The same story? You just made Belle into Bill. How would that... Tell me. How is that inappropriate for children now? How is the once straight relationship now inappropriate for children now that it's gay? If gay people are not somehow inherently immoral or evil in some way. If you believe that gay people are inherently immoral and evil, which is the pill the bullet you have to bite, as Ben Shapiro or anybody who claims they're not homophobic but says these things, if you don't think that gay people are inherently immoral and evil, why would it be harmful now to, in the same exact way, depict a gay relationship, just as a straight one was? It wouldn't be wrong, unless you actually believe that gay people are evil and immoral and it's wrong to be gay. Ben Shapiro does believe this, though he would soften his language quite a bit, and many Ben Shapiro fans would claim that they don't believe this. But they do. And what they say very clearly denotes what they believe. No idea if Xanderhal sees this, but he's straight up gaslighting both Ben and the right's position on virtually everything so far. Captain Phoenix, would you like to come onto my stream right now? Would you like to come on to Discord and have a little conversation? I would absolutely love to have you on my stream right now, Captain Phoenix. I would love for you to tell me how I'm gaslighting Ben and the online right now. Please, join my Discord. I love the combination of a Ben Shapiro fan in chat making a fool of themselves and Ben just saying stupid shit juxtaposed together on screen. Link to Discord. It's linked in the description of the stream.
It's very sad to me. But just because I'm sad about it doesn't mean that we have any other option other than to build. Because we can sit here and we can moan about this. We can complain about it. We can say that it's really bad.
Oh no. He said bitch. Oh no.
That Disney is doing this. And of course it's really bad that Disney's doing this. In fact, it's perverse that Disney is doing this. It's perverse that Disney wants to leverage its own values on sex into its programming to 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old.
Its own values on sex? What do you mean values on sex? What do you mean values on sex? What does it have to do with sex? Being gay doesn't have anything inherently to do with sex. You don't have to have sex with somebody just because you're attracted to them and you're gay. Do you think that, like, stories about straight couples, do you think that those are about sex? Of course not. It's only about sex if it's about gay people. And the reason for that is because conservatives view sex as, or sorry, not sex, but conservatives view gay people or LGBT people in general as being degenerates who are taking part in a sexual deviance of sorts. And so when they see a gay couple being depicted in media, what they actually see is some sort of like degenerate like kink display. Not like, oh, some people are gay, some people are straight. And it's because they don't see gay people as just a way that a human can be. They see it as like a degenerate, like mental illness, a negative quality that one has. Because they're homophobic. All right.
Old kids. That is screwed up in every possible way. We can complain about it, or we can build an alternative. So we here at the Daily Wire, we are dedicating $100 million over the next 3 years to making children's programming so that you have a space where if you give your kid the remote, you're not going to have to worry that we're going to crap on your values because we reflect your values. We like your values.
Yes. Oh my God, he's not even like it's not even like he's not even like apologetic about it. It's like, we like your values. Yes, teach your kids exactly what we want you to teach them. Yes, never let. It's like they're hugging them and like stroking their hair. Never expose them to any wrong think. Your children must only think as you do. Only your conservative values can be exposed to them. They must never learn that gay people exist, not until they've properly learned that they're degenerate monsters who are to be hated. Because if they learn that gay people exist before that, they might find out that they're just normal people trying to live their lives, and we can't have that, can we? No, we can't have that.
So you have a space where if you give your kid the remote, you're not going to have to worry that we're going to crap on your values because we reflect your values. We like your values. We don't think that you as a parent need to be undermined. We think that you as a parent need to be reinforced. We think traditional values are good. We think that kids' innocence should be preserved. They're not little widgets. They are not sexual beings in waiting. They are children whose innocence needs to be maintained, needs to be protected. That is why this is not just a monetary play, although we think—
I should point out, by the way, conservatives view children not as people, but as a resource. Children, to the right, are a resource to indoctrinate. More indoctrinated children in the future equals more indoctrinated right-wing people, more right-wing voters, and more, as George Carlin said, dead fucking soldiers to die in, our endless wars and what have you. Now, the right doesn't view kids as people, of course. They view children as property and as a resource to be owned by their parents and a resource to be propagandized to, because that resource can be, over time, almost like an investment turned into right-wing votes in the future. That is how they view children, as an investment, as a resource or a property they're investing in, not as people.
that Disney has now opened up a market because the woker the left gets, the more markets they open up for people who are willing to compete. But this is not just a monetary play for us. It is a monetary play because we believe in capitalism, but it is more than that. It's an ideological play. We think that you, people like you, parents who are listening to this program, that you are not willing to risk your kids and their future and the way that they think about the most important issues in life simply because Disney has a license to use Star Wars. We don't think that is who you are as parents. And so we are going to produce an alternative. It's not just enough to say that people should not consume Disney product because, listen, I won't. And when it comes to the new Lightyear movie, I have no intention of showing my 5-year-old boy a Lightyear movie in which there are lesbians making out. This is not on my priority list. I have no intent on showing my kids that film. None. Okay, but it's more than that. Because it's one thing to say that you're going to temporarily pull your dollars from Disney.
What about all like the Disney princess kisses the prince? What's wrong with... Hey, why is that okay, but now 2 girls kissing is bad?
Or that you're going to pull your dollars from a particular Disney movie. It's another thing to start building alternatives. Places where you know that your values won't be pissed and spit upon. Places where you know that the left is not going to prey upon your children. And that's what we're intending on building here at Daily Wire. So as I say, yesterday, the Daily Wire co-CEO Small G, Small K, God King, Jeremy Boring, announced that we here at the Daily Wire would be dumping $100 million into development of television shows for kids at DW Kids. Here's what it sounded like.
Because of the great reporting of Chris Rufo, we got to see leaked footage from inside Disney of high-up Disney employees saying things like, we have a not-so-secret gay agenda. Saying things like, make sure I get this quote right, we're adding in queerness wherever we can. True. And that, quote, no one is trying to stop the producer who was doing so. Another executive within the company said, if anything, we don't have enough LGBTQIA representation.
True.
In content made for very small children.
True.
So what are we going to do about it?
Hey, Fods, what's up, buddy?
Well, we're going to do the same thing we always do. We're going to build alternatives. Americans have enormous economic might. They just don't have any alternatives.
Oh, you should come to my website chat. It's in the pinned comment on YouTube. I've got a website with like a custom chat and everything. You should come make an account and chat. It's awesome. The chat you see on screen. For those of you guys that don't know, if any of you were like OGs, like back in the Minecraft community, back in the day, if you were fans of like Captain Sparkles, Ant Venom back in the day, you may have also been a fan of Skitscape and Fods, who did a lot of content together back in like the OG Minecraft days. Some of my favorite content from that age. And Fods is in chat right now, so that's pretty awesome. Everyone say hi.
Alternatives. The Daily Wire is building those alternatives. And today, I'm proud to tell you that we will be launching Daily Wire Kids.
Wait, why does it look like... It looks like the 19... Okay, hold on. This... It looks like the... It literally looks like it. Where's the image from the movie? It's like the really famous one. This one. Oh my god. You can't make this shit up. You actually can't make this shit up. As you're announcing the Ministry of Children's Education, yeah, as you're announcing the new re-education system for the children to be taught right-wing propaganda. Life imitates art. It really fucking does, doesn't it? It really fucking does. Number one washed up Minecraft YouTuber is present. You are the number one, soon to be number one Minecraft YouTuber. Okay, we're gonna make sure that you take Dream's spot as number one.
So this has been in the works for quite a while here. As I mentioned over at Daily Wire, we hired the VeggieTales writers to help create our first two children's shows. One is called Chilla Time. It's about a family of homeschool chinchillas and appropriate for children of all ages. And another one called Doodles with Noodles that centers on a man and his puppet giving drawing lessons. When you describe stuff that way, it sounds silly, of course, but all children's programming sounds silly. The thing about this is that we are deadly serious, that we mean to provide a safe alternative.
Listen, okay, VeggieTales went pretty hard, okay? There was a time when VeggieTales went pretty hard, okay? And it was when we were too young to understand all the religious shit, right? Like, that was when VeggieTales was the best, was when we were too young, or like, for me, just like, I ignore the religious shit. I guess there's some good messages, but it's mostly just kind of fun to watch. What I really liked was the Lord of the Rings parody they did, the Lord of the Beans one. That one was very, very fun. I remember liking that one a lot when I was a kid. I remember. Okay, so I would watch VeggieTales on VHS, and at the end of every VHS tape for VeggieTales, they had like an advertisement for another one, like another special or collection of episodes or whatever, and I'd recognize, Grandma, I don't have that collection of episodes they advertised at the end of this new tape. My grandma would be like, we go to the flea market. And we'd go to the fucking flea market and look and see if they had any VeggieTales tapes, and we'd buy up any of the new ones they had, and we'd watch them. That was something me and my grandma would do a lot when I was like young, like 6, maybe 7.
For your kids, where you're not going to have to worry that if you leave the room for 5 minutes, your kid is being told that he can be a she. You're not going to have to worry about that. You're going to have to worry about answering questions about the morality of various forms of marriage when you come back into the room after leaving your kid watching the latest episode of Paw Patrol. You're not going to have to worry about that sort of stuff. And we're willing to sink serious money into this.
What?
In fact, we've committed to sinking serious money because we know that you're going to help.
Paw Patrol is going to have a gay wedding? Okay, I guess. I mean, sure, why not? I mean, weddings happen in kids' shows.
So that's what we have. And I've said this before, but it's true. We've generated so much content over the past year alone. We've generated 3 separate films. We have another one that's coming out in just a couple of months. We've generated all sorts of new series. We've generated a publisher. We've generated a razor company.
Yeah, the goddamn Paw Patrol are class traders, goddammit.
All these things because you guys help us. And we need your help. Because here's the thing. Disney has tens, maybe hundreds of millions of
Yes, ACAB includes the Paw Patrol
subscribers at this point. Disney spends $25 billion a year on exactly the kind of programming that they claim they are going to use as a political weapon against you and your children. Okay, we are committing $100 million over the next 3 years. We need your help. Okay, I'm just going to put it right out there. Okay, obviously, we make money from this because we believe there's a market out there. We believe every time Disney spends a buck attempting to push its woke agenda, it is pushing more people into our corner. But we are also first.
God, the way that they virtue signal their audience feels so self-aggrandizing too. Like the way he frames it as if these right-wing figures pushing against the gay agenda in kids media are like, it's as if they're on like some holy moral crusade or something. No, dude, you're bitching about gay characters in kids shows. You sound like the biggest virgin on earth right now, Ben.
First movers in the space, which means that we have to sink an enormous amount of time and money into the project to build an alternative. And for us, kids content is a loss leader until it's not.
Wait, I just remembered I was in FOD's chat like a year ago, maybe even more, and somebody in the chat brought up Ben Shapiro, and FOD said someone asked like, who's Ben Shapiro? And FOD said he's a really short Jewish man who really hates brown people. And I was like, you got it. You basically got it. Yeah. You basically got it. A very short Jewish man who hates brown people. That's because he can't get his wife wet. That is true. God, I can't believe he announced that on the internet. The fact that, like, my wife said that when a woman's pussy gets wet, it's because they have a disease.
You're going to help us make it profitable. Because if you do, we will.
Yeah, rap music isn't real music. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Everybody that I know that knows music, and I don't know music very much, FODS does. Everybody that I know that knows music hates Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro has dared to talk about music theory before, and apparently he's about as wrong about music theory as he is about everything else. And so, like, everybody that I know who's, like, really into music and knows music hates Ben Shapiro for his takes on like, rap music not being real music and music today being trash or whatever it was. Xander Hall, do you have a reaction video coming for the continuing Sargon v. internet comment etiquette debate? Oh, of course. Of course I'll continue to watch them go against each other.
Provide an alternative. And by the way, if we provide an alternative, it will force Disney to take you seriously. It is not just that...
There's no such thing as music theory? Pretty sure there is, right? I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I've heard that word before. Pretty sure that's not made up. I'm pretty sure I didn't make that up.
You will actually have something to show your kids where you can feel safe. It's also that Disney might have second thoughts about caving to the most pathetically woke people on planet Earth, the people who want to hijack your kids. They might have second thoughts. They might start looking at that profit margin shrinking and think to themselves, hey, maybe we shouldn't make a story about a panda bear.
Hey, I should mention, by the way, these companies, they go where the money is, okay? As much as Ben Shapiro may want to convince his audience otherwise, the vast majority of Americans think that being gay is just fine. There's a reason why gay marriage is now legal here in America, and I promise you, the vast majority of voting Americans are not as mad about gay characters in their kids' media as Ben Shapiro thinks they are.
Who happens to be a pansexual lesbian gymnast. Maybe instead we should make something that appeals to 5 and 6-year-olds, maybe. And doesn't crap all over the parents. Disney might have, again, markets matter. There's a reason Disney doesn't tick off the Chinese, because they know the Chinese will use their market power. There's a reason Disney doesn't care about ticking you off, because they know you're not going to use your market power. So we want to give you the ability to use your market power and get good content in return. And yes, leverage Disney into going back to a time when they protected the magic and innocence of childhood. So if you want to help us out, please go subscribe right now at dailywire.com/subscribe. Use code BUILDTheFuture. Again, that's build the future.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. We don't need to hear him shill. We don't need to hear him shill. But what you do need to hear is me shill. All right. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like over on the stream on YouTube. It helps out the channel more than you even realize. Engagement over on YouTube is even more important than ever right now. So likes, comments, anything like that, even if you can't afford to donate, really do help out the channel. They're totally free. It takes half a second. You should really get yourself into the habit of, like, if you watch a bunch of YouTubers you really enjoy, just consistently before the video even starts, almost like instinctively hitting the like button on your favorite YouTubers' videos. You shouldn't even have to remember. Like, just get into the habit of immediately hitting that like button. I started doing it. I always hit the like button for all my favorite YouTubers. If even half the people in my audience did that, then my channel would have like 1 million subs by now. No cap. Anyway, consider hitting the like button. Follow me on my social medias. Link down below if you want to see more from me online. If you want to see more from me on YouTube, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so YouTube actually tells you when I go live, upload a new video, or do anything here on my channel. And of course, if you want to support me financially and you've got the money for it, don't need it for anything else, and just don't know what to do with your money, you can always support me financially, as this is my full-time job, and your donations are very much appreciated by either supporting me on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or through my official website, xanderhall.com/live, where you can donate, subscribe, or gift a sub. And and any donations are very much appreciated. Not to mention, your support does funnel into this Shadow Onesie stream dono goal you see right here, where if I hit the dono goal during the stream, $300, I put on a Shadow the Hedgehog onesie for the whole stream. And basically it. With all that said, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.